But we will start with some of the Euro action that we saw today in the form of Turkey against Portugal. Big win for Portugal today, 3-0 and through to the knockout rounds as Group F winners. Bernardo Silva opening the scoring. Portugal then doubling their lead thanks to a disastrous own goal from Turkey. In the second half, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo unselfishly square it to Bruno Fernandes to add a third, and on they go. Let's now welcome in Gab Marcotti and Nedum to talk more about this game. Let me start with you though, Don. More comfortable, more clinical today from Portugal.
Bit of a relief if you're a Portuguese fan watching that, because they scored at the right times. The first goal was a good goal from Bernardo Silva, but the way Turkey offered up the next two goals were horrendous. The own goal was just so bad. And even the third goal, when Ronaldo squared it for Bruno Fernandes, their line at the back four was so high. So they played into Portugal's hands. Portugal sort of dominated the flow of the game. They were comfortable in possession. They didn't need to take too many risks. And that is a big relief, them getting the 3 points.
Oh, Nedum, you've got to feel for it from the defender's point of view there. What was he thinking on that own goal of Kaidin?
I would love to hear what they were saying after the game, because from my perspective, it looked like the goalkeeper was trying to say, calm down, it's okay, I'm coming to get it. But then as the defender, sometimes the instinct just kicks in. But that feeling of having a ball going towards your own goal, at this sort of level as well, it's such a shocker. And unfortunately for them, I think that was the goal that basically put the game to bed. And as I say, it's such a shame, and those guys will probably not do that again, maybe in their careers, but you just can't mess up on that sort of stage there. And if the other centre-back was maybe half a yard quicker, he gets away with it. But, these are the big moments, and if you're not ready for them and you make little mistakes, you will be punished. And yeah, I think it was a tough day for Turkey overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Gab, another own goal, top scorer in the tournament so far. That's 6 already in Euro 2024.
Yeah, amazing. Look, this is probably just some kind of weird statistical quirk. I don't know. There's too much to read into it, but it does feel weird seeing OG. I wonder how many people had that in their betting pool.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, Don, when you see it? Because in the history of the World Cup in the Euros, you've only got World Cup 2018 where there were 12 overall, and Euro 2020 when there was 11. We're already seeing 6 right here, and we've got, 27 games to go?
I mean, Antonio Rudiger, matchday 1, was Scotland's highest top scorer on the Euros at one point when he scored. It's very bizarre because Nedum will know, when you try and have a conversation with your goalkeeper, as the own goal today proves, and normally if a goalkeeper sort of thinks there's a back pass on, for some bizarre reason, they go outside the goal to offer an angle. And as a defender, you're thinking, is he there? Has he made an angle? Should I go central? And in the end, it just causes mass confusion, because you look at it unfold and you watch it unfold. It can only be a conversation that you have if you're a defender. Nedum will know better between yourself and the goalkeeper where you actually pass the ball. Because to the naked eye, if you're playing a back pass, as a defender, you half want to say, well, if I am going to make a dangerous back pass, then logically, surely I'm going to pass it wide of the goal. But therefore, you're offering, or you're hoping your goalkeeper's made an angle. Otherwise, you look stupid because it's going to go out for a corner. And then it all just gets messy. It all gets worse. There's no angle. And you put it in the back of the net. And it's like, what's the conversation? Why didn't we have one?
Well, one man who didn't put it in the back of the net was Cristiano Ronaldo, because he squared it to Bruno Fernandes. But, Nedum, the cynics are already out saying that he knew he was going to be the top assist man in the Euros. And he was like, OK, I'll actually assist it instead of scoring it here.
Oh, that's absolute nonsense in my opinion. I think as he was running through on goal, I think some of us was thinking, well, it's Ronaldo, of course he's going to score, but it's also Ronaldo, one of the most successful players in history. He knows what the right decision is, and that was the right decision, even though his chances of scoring are extremely high. Fernandez's are even higher, and he has the quality to roll it sideways. So I think that's like business. That's the Ronaldo that's desperate to win this tournament and not just be searching for an individual accolade, which I'm sure he'll want. But his priority will be winning this tournament. And I think those moments kind of show that to me, to be honest.
Kay, that would have been so bad if Ronaldo had a shot, because it would have just showed absolute greed. Because the best thing to do in that situation is forget about yourself. He checked his shoulder where Bruno Fernandes was. It was 100% the right thing to do, because it was an easy assist. I'm not sure he was checking the numbers. He might know the numbers, but I'm not sure he'd give the assist just to try and get an assist record. The right thing to do was pass to your teammate.
Do what he did. What's your mark out of 10 for him today?
I think it was a strong 7. I think he was quiet in the first game, but I think there's more to come from him. I think it's 39. You've got to try and, when you're managing Ronaldo now, you've got to ask him, even though he's sort of stats graphic there or painting the picture where he's all over the place, and he was, because his touch is very good. I would try and find a way of having him the width of the 18-yard box, Don't ask him to go out wide. There's wide players like Leao, there's wide players like Bernardo Silva, João Felix, if he plays in the next game, can do all that work outside the box. You'd say to Ronaldo, save your legs, and when you're sharp, and when we get you a chance, just make sure you're ready for it. So do not do any work outside the width of the 18-yard box. Stay central.
What's your assessment today, Gab, of Cristiano Ronaldo, if we were to give him a mark out of 10?
I think 7 out of 10 sounds about right to me. I mean, I think, took Portugal. I thought, obviously, the gift from Altay certainly opened things up for them. I thought in the first half, Portugal a little bit predictable. They seemed obsessed with trying to get Rafael Leao out there, and Turkey were doubling up on him. And I think Cristiano is maybe reacting to that a little bit with some of his movement. But I think Roberto Martinez is realizing that if you're going to have Cristiano out there, I think it's best to have the pieces around him basically simple, people in their actual positions as far as you can. None of this back three and João Cancelo playing wherever he was playing in the first game, and just get him the ball and see what happens. And I think that suits Cristiano well.
Nedum, what have you made of this Portugal team so far then?
I think I very much preferred this performance to the last one. And I think in terms of praise that Martinez was receiving before the tournament, it's like the fluidity, the options that he has, the fact he can change it here, there and wherever. But I thought today you could see the structure from the get-go and they stuck to it. There were times, when Cancelo's coming inside, Bernardo Silva's high on that wing, Leao was high on the other side. It made sense to me and people looked comfortable in their spots, as Gab was saying there. And as a consequence, they seemed cleaner in defence, cleaner in attack. Obviously, there were times where things had to be last-ditch from the 55-year-old Pepe or whatever he is now. But still, they all knew what they needed to do. And it was overall, for me, quite impressive. And I know, we were talking about the 7 out of 10 for Ronaldo, and I think that's fair because even for him, I'm fascinated by him because, this guy's played over 1,000 games. This is one of the most consequential players in the history of the game that so many people love. And even for the own goal, he makes a run, but Cancelo doesn't play the pass, and Ronaldo's frustrated. But as soon as the ball crosses the line, Ronaldo's hugging Cancelo. If you want to talk about vibes in a camp, I think that is literally it there. And those guys look like they enjoyed their day today, and they're probably feeling themselves going into that last game.
Nedum, don't be dissing Pepe and calling him 65. 41, just because you didn't make it there. He was doing so much today. He came off to a standing ovation.
He's done more in his 40s than I did in my 16-year career, so more power to him. Don't even worry about it, okay?
And did you see the crunch and tackle that he made as well?
Well, it wouldn't be Pepe without one of those, would it?
It was typical him. He absolutely smashed him in a 50-50.
Yeah, he did. I wanted to talk to you guys, actually, about Rafael Leao. That whole situation there, Gab, with that yellow card for him. Obviously, it's not going to be as damning given the fact that Portugal have now won the group. But what did you make of that whole situation?
Look, I think he's still kind of finding his situation. Obviously, we saw him booked for diving as well. I think Roberto Martinez has kind of decided to put his chips there, and you saw that with the number of times that they were attacking down his flank, with him and Nuno Mendes. And I think there's a reason for it too. If you talk about sort of pace and directness in this team, obviously you're not going to get that from Bernardo Silva on the other side. You're not going to get that from João Felix if he plays, and obviously you're not going to get that from Cristiano or indeed from Gonzalo Ramos, who brings other things to the table. So I think he's very aware of the importance of having sort of that quick option, and so I think that's why he's sticking with Rafael Leao. Maybe more than some people would have him, but it just shows how important he sees him as a member of this side.
Gab, what's your take on Rafa Leao? Because me and you have a conversation, and I've watched Rafa Leao and commentated on Rafa Leao for quite a while now, and he should, or at some point, I would like to think the penny would drop because he's going through quite a few managers, and I have a love-hate relationship when I watch him because I love him because of the skill element and I love the potential. But how do we get the best out of him? Surely that's on him, no?
He's been criticized for some of his defensive work. I think a lot of times when we watch players, and I know this, from the perspective of obviously Milan, he worked under Pioli, and the message from Milan was clear. They're saying when you get the ball, you have license to run at the defenders. We would like you to help out defensively a bit more because Theo Hernandez is there. But you just worry about doing that because, you're the kind of guy who could just break a game wide open. You run past an opponent, you create an overload, and that's the kind of environment they created around him. And then people look at him and says, oh, but look, he doesn't track back, he doesn't run himself into the ground. But those are the instructions he has, at least at club level. Now, is Roberto telling him the same things with Portugal? I'm not sure. I mean, I think probably you need a more sort of comprehensive performance from him. And obviously he may not be the main man because the way he is at Milan, because, there's other match winners there. But I would like to think that, he's aware of what he can do, and he's aware that this is a low-scoring game, and it only takes him 1 second, or even just the implied threat of Rafael Leao, running in behind creates so many problems. I mean, you saw that with Turkey time and again. Zeki Selik was over on his side. The number of times he sent people over to double him up, which obviously then creates more space in the middle for people to run into. So I don't know. My message to Leao would be just keep on keeping on.
Yeah.